I'm in northern Minnesota, heading into the backcountry of the Solana State Forest. Later on today, we're supposed to get hammered by a pretty big snowstorm, and so my plan is to find a spot to camp, build a traditional teepee shelter, and then ride out the storm. Well, looks like this is going to be our home for the night. As you can see, it's not only a beautiful spot, but it has everything that we need. There's good protection here from the wind and the elements. We also have plenty of wood at our disposal. I mean, there are downed trees everywhere here. So between our shelter and firewood, we should have plenty of wood right at our fingertips. First thing that I'm doing is preparing a spot to build the teepee. So I'm just clearing some snow and stomping it down to hopefully have as flat and level a spot as possible. The next step is to find and cut down some poles, which will be the main supports for our teepee today. I didn't want to use pine if at all possible for the poles because pine has too many branches that you'd have to delimb and it would just be kind of a nuisance. Thankfully, there's so much of this popple and birch, whatever else is back here. We'll definitely be able to find 6 quality posts for this shelter. Oh, this one right here looks pretty good. It's definitely long enough, looks solid. I think we'll give it a shot. This one here looks pretty good too. This forest is becoming a new favorite of mine, mainly for its quiet backcountry feel. It has a real wild and secluded quality to it, which makes it a really fun spot to come out and try new things, like building this shelter today. All right, so the first part of the build process is setting up a tripod. That's going to be the main structural foundation of the teepee. So I want really strong posts for this. This one right here looks really, really good, so we'll definitely use that. This one looks really sturdy as well, so I think we'll use that. And then I think this will be number 3. The next thing to do is to tie these 3 poles together as tightly as possible. And so to do that, I'm using a utility strap.
the next two poles in place, I wanted to just bind them together with another utility strap before attaching the tarp to the final pole.
All right, so I actually customized this tarp myself. It began as a 10 by 20 canvas tarp, and all I really did was I cut it into a semicircle with a 9-foot radius, and that's what's going to allow it to wrap around the teepee properly. I also added this hole for a wood stove jack. That's what's gonna keep me warm tonight. I did consider doing the traditional fire inside the teepee, but there's actually more that goes into that to make sure that the smoke draws out the top and doesn't get too smoky. And I figured for my first time trying this, I might as well go with something tried and true. So we're gonna rock a wood stove tonight. Well, this is it. I gotta say, it turned out as well, if not better, than I could have hoped. As you can see, I was able to fully wrap the tarp around the frame. I banked some snow in order to combat the wind coming up and under, and I was able to stuff pine boughs up on the top of the frame there to completely close it off. And I'm confident that we're not only gonna stay dry in this thing, but we're gonna be warm as well, especially with that stove. It's definitely cozy, especially when you're standing up, but thankfully there's plenty of space on the floor to not only set up our stove, but to be able to hang out and then of course set up my cot and have my gear in here as well. As you saw, it's definitely a little tight getting in and out of the door, but that's because I've got the tarp anchored up here as well as down below, just to keep things as tight as possible. I think I'll also probably anchor this flap as well once we're in here and kind of hunkered down for a while. But for now, I think I'll just leave it open like this so we can sort of get in and out as easy as possible.
I decided to burn up some of the extra brush just to have a little fun outside before we have to hunker down inside the teepee.
Well, the snow came on a lot quicker than I was anticipating, or at least it seemed to. Originally, I had hoped to hike to a river that's just about a mile away, but building the teepee and making sure we had everything we need, that took up the majority of the day. Still, feels good to be able to burn up some of the extra brush and enjoy being outside for just a little while longer before we really take shelter inside the teepee. All right, we're gonna take a quick pause here so I can tell you guys about one of my favorite snacks of all time, especially when I'm out on an adventure. Chomps are really just the perfect meat stick with incredible flavors and zero sugar. You wouldn't believe how many things that we eat have sugar in them, but Chomps doesn't have any. They also are a great source of high quality protein with 10 grams of protein per stick. These things have honestly been a lifesaver for me and my family when we're either at home, on the go, or especially when I'm out here in the field. It's all grass-fed and their animals aren't treated with antibiotics or hormones, so you know it's good stuff. It's also nice to know that it's certified gluten-free and it's allergy-friendly. As I said before, you know, we eat these things everywhere. It's a great way to give Olivia a little snack, but it's also awesome for me when I'm out on the road, which you guys know happens on a weekly basis. But my favorite place of all to enjoy Chomps is out on an adventure. Whether I'm camping out or out on the trail, there's nothing quite like having some good food in a beautiful place. They have so many great flavors as well. You definitely can't go wrong with original beef. I also love jalapeno beef because it's got that little extra spice. But I gotta say my new favorite is the taco flavor. You guys know I love my tacos and burritos, so having a taco flavored Chomp is just my style. So if you've never heard of Chomps and want to learn more, make sure you follow the link in the description of this video. Or if you're already a Chomps fan, I'd love to know your favorite place to snack and what your favorite flavor is. Let me know in the comments below. And with that, let's get back to the adventure. really want to keep this fire going all night until it's time to go to bed, mainly because this wood seems to be a little wet, and so I'd love to get some real hot coals going, so that way we can just keep tossing logs on and they'll burn right away. Well, while the storm rages out there, it's absolutely peaceful in here. It's great. We do have some, snow melting from the stovepipe, and it's dropping on the stove, but it's actually kind of a tranquil sound. I am starving though. I originally planned to make lunch, but the day just kind of got away from me, so I think it's about time to make dinner. Unfortunately, it looks like the wood stove isn't putting off enough heat to cook this stuff, at least in a timely fashion, so I'm gonna do it on the camp stove. I'm whipping up some simple fried rice with onion, bell pepper, chicken, and egg. It should be a nice hearty meal after all of that hard work. Dear Lord, thank you for just another awesome day and night to be out in the woods. Thank you for this warm shelter. Amen. Well, this fried rice looks and smells incredible. Let's dive in. That is good. I absolutely love fried rice. I used to make it a lot more, but it's been a while since I've done it. Oh, it tastes amazing. Definitely earned this meal today. I worked pretty hard putting this shelter up. No lunch either. Man, oh man.
so far, this has been a complete success. Feels good in here. We're completely sheltered and dry, you know, from the storm. And it's just really, really peaceful. I love trying new things like this too. I feel like there's definitely an extra bit of satisfaction and fulfillment when you make something with your own hands. So the fact that this shelter is working out, it definitely makes me feel good. Well, I am all set for bed. I have my cot set up. I'm also on a insulated sleeping pad with a 0-degree sleeping bag, so I'm going to be more than comfortable and warm tonight. And I gotta say, it's pretty awesome to be able to have the fire going as I drift off. Definitely going to enjoy that. The snow is still just like dumping out there, and it's supposed to continue all night, so I guess we'll see how much we end up with in the morning. But until then, I'm going to get some sleep. We'll see you first thing in the morning. Good night. I would have thought lighting a match would be this hard. All right, here we go. Come on. Well, good morning, everybody. It feels really good having that fire going again. I'll tell you what. I slept really well. You know, if you have the right sleeping bag and insulation underneath you, you can sleep out in any cold. But once I wake up, it's nice to get some radiant heat going. Once again, I made sure to sleep with my fuel so that I can make coffee right now. And so that's what I'm going to do. Whoa. Jeez Louise. Holy cow. Oh, man. Man, when that wind gets going, it pushes fire and smoke through the stove. I'm definitely moving this coffee. Not too shabby, guys. It is so toasty warm in here. The coffee is really hitting the spot.
now that the sun has officially come up, it's unfortunately time to start tearing down and packing out. Alright guys, we are all torn down. I packed up the sled and even left a little bit of the extra firewood in case somehow someone stumbles upon this spot in the future. But now it's time to start hiking back to the truck. Let's do it. Well, that is going to do it for this one. Thank you all so much for coming along. It was so much fun to get out there and try something new and really put it to the test. I mean, we got a significant snowstorm here. My truck is absolutely covered. The wind is still blowing. It's unbelievable. But the TV held out very well overnight. I was comfortable. I was warm. And that's really all you can ask for. So it was a success in my book. As always, I want to give a special thank you to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. But again, to everybody who watches, comments, subscribes, all of you, you're the reason that I get to do this on a weekly basis. And I'm very grateful for that. So thank you so much. But it's time for me to get this stuff loaded up so I can get home and see the girls. We'll see you next week. God bless.